Hey, I'm Mark Gladue, broker associate with Lauer Realty Group, and I am here with Liz Lauer, founder and owner of Lauer Realty Group. We want to talk about what's been happening during Q3. Now that Q1, Q2 are over, we're out here on beautiful Lake Monona. That market is done. We're moving into Q4. What have you been seeing in Q3 that's really stood out to you?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of changes in terms of market allowing buyers a little bit more power in terms of inspections have been coming back, contingencies are coming back. We're seeing less cash offers. We're also seeing in some cases the ability for buyers to have a subject to sale contingency added to their offer, and being able to successfully sell their home and purchase without that uncertainty of
Having that fear.
That fear of the buy sell and having to put your home on the market before you find a home.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things that we're noticing too is for the first time in 1,400 days, we're seeing the interest rates that are coming down below 6. So we're hovering right about 6 right now, but at one point in the last few weeks, we saw interest rates drop to 5.625. So I think the more we see that also dip into the 5.5, 5 range, we're going to see more people who are thinking about that buy sell because they've been sitting in their homes now for maybe four or 5 years, and they've been thinking to themselves, I need something bigger, or I need to downsize because I don't have anybody around anymore. And I think we're going to probably see a little bit more than that. I think the feds are actually suggesting, or the NAR, or whatever it might be, that we could see up to 20% more home sales in 2025, just based on where interest rates are going.
Yeah, I mean, if we get down to that 5 level, I think the market kind of opens up and people stop holding on because of their lower interest rates. You know, and I think that family that's been sitting there in a house that doesn't work for them necessarily because of the cost savings and inflation, you know, they're getting caught up on things now. So I think, you know, it's always a challenge, you know, when you're faced with a 40% increase in, you know, kind of products across the board.
Yeah. And I think, you know, Q3 was all about a lot of people who were moving into the city, getting ready for school, settling into Madison for the first time. And so, you know, we saw that the median home price actually dipped just a little bit. We saw 480,000 in Q2. We're around 455,000 in Q3. And I think we may even see that dip a little bit further in Q4, just based on what we call seasonality. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, for people who haven't really watched the market, you know, pre-COVID, you know, fall markets and that, you know, kind of holiday market, you know, because winter, once we get past January, I would say then it opens up again. But, you know, it used to be that 70 to 80% of homes, and I tracked this for years, would sell between March and August. And then you'd see that if you came out in fall as a buyer, you'd have this advantage where there was, you know, more inventory and less buyers around. So seasonality was a thing, and it kind of went away during COVID, but now we're seeing that re-enter the market. So some people are saying, is the market changing? And I would say, I think it's adjusting back to pre-COVID conditions.
So Liz and I have been talking about how there are only around 200 existing homes on the market, but if you add in that new home construction, we're at about 280 homes, which new home construction is always a good way to go if that's something you've been thinking about. So it used to be that this time of year, prior to COVID, we'd have probably 500 or 600 homes on the market, and now we're down to this. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it translates into about a month or a year and 2 months inventory, and so we're still not having as much supply as we would need to get into a seller and buyer at an even place in the marketplace. And, you know, to go further, to be a buyer's market, that needs to be 5 or 6 months inventory, which we haven't seen, you know, since about 2015.
Yeah. So inventory is still staying relatively low. I mean, we saw in Q1 at some points, we only had 40 existing homes for sale that were active. Q2 obviously picked up, and Q3 is where we really see a large amount of homes that start to come on the market. But now that we go into Q4 and we only have that 1.2 months worth of supply, that could dwindle to be even less. So there you have it on inventory. Anything else you want to add?
our phones are on. So, let's get you where you need to be.
Yeah, we're around. It's Lauer Realty Group. It's a beautiful day out here on Lake Monona. And we appreciate those of you who work with us and who have referred us. It means a great deal to us. We love being in the community. So have a great fall, and we'll see you in the winter.